But Hearts, guys, Hearts are the ones that really seem to be motoring along. Stuart Finlay has now joined on loan from Oxford United. The other one that they've signed is Christian, I'm going to butcher this, Borchgrevnik.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. And the other one was the boy that we knew about, Alexandros Zagridis. But Hearts look like they're quietly putting together a really strong side.
They're tooling up, aren't they? They are really tooling up. I genuinely, look, Daniel, we've spoken about this. They've done the right thing by going for Derek McInnes. It's a sign of intent. And they are now, they've got money behind them because of the investment at the end of the season from Tony Bloom. There's money. There's a top level manager who enjoys nothing more than having a roll around in the mud with Rangers and Celtic. Derek McInnes is a shrewd operator, as shrewd as they come in Scottish football. He'll have identified the problems that Rangers have got right now and the potential for them to get off to a sluggish start, a difficult start, all the pressure that's going to come down on Russell Martin. I'm telling you right now, and I know Derek McInnes well, there is no way he is thinking anything other, even though he won't admit it, than there's a real chance for Hearts to get into the argument in between the two of them at the top of the table. If he was the guy, let's not forget, the one trophy that Brendan Rodgers hasn't won during his 2 stints at Celtic Park. It was Derek McInnes that stopped him from doing that by knocking Celtic out of the League Cup at Rugby Park last season. He enjoys it. He wants to be involved in it. That's why he's been waiting for this opportunity to get back to a team which will have that level of finance to make it possible to get involved in a real scrap. Not just in a one-off game here and there, because he's proven that he can do that, but he is looking at this next season going, there is a real opportunity to lay down a marker, to get right involved in the thick of it at the top end of the table, and yes, potentially to separate Celtic from Rangers by the end of it.
And the key thing about that, Daniel, we were discussing it earlier, is no European football. I just think that's absolutely crucial. Now, listen, Hearts want to be in Europe, obviously. They want to be in Europe every year, and I'm sure if they were in Europe, it's something that Derek McInnes would be excited about. But the fact that there's no Europe, I just think it gives them a clear run at it, and they're getting signings in early, as Jacko says, getting tooled up for the season. The squad looks pretty strong already. Obviously, a lot of these guys are coming in through Jamestown or whatever, and we're not sure how they'll be, how they'll settle, how good they are. We need to see that. But the squad's starting to take shape, starting to look strong. As Jacko says, with a top manager in place, with no European football, I could see them hitting the ground running at the start of the season. And maybe even doing what Aberdeen did last season, really going this 10-game winning run or unbeaten run or whatever, and it just gets them right up there. And even if you do lose a few games after that, you're still kind of in the mix. I think that'll be in Derek McInnes' head. While other teams, Hibs, Dundee United on Europe, the kind of the situation at Rangers where everything's new, there's so many changes. He'll want to take advantage of all of that and try and steal a match. And you could see him doing it. And certainly by getting these guys in early, I think that'll be key for him in terms of what he wants to achieve.
Well, you can imagine, Scott, as well, as we talked about it previously, I think, but you can imagine what Tynecastle is going to look and feel like if Hearts got off to a flyer. Because we saw, I remember what Tynecastle like. Remember the season George Burley was there, and he had them flying at the start of that campaign. I can feel the potential for something similar this season. And as you said, Scott, other clubs, they've got to deal with the midweeks, the European ties, the travelling, the getting back home, the resting players, the rotating. Whereas Derek McInnes only has to work out what he fancies as his first 11 and keep it ticking over and get it building momentum. And if you can build momentum with Hearts, we've seen what that stadium is like. It becomes an absolute bear pit of a place that nobody's going to enjoy going to. People say, and that's in credit to Derek McInnes, he said it, he's unveiling. People enjoy coming to Tynecastle. I'm sick of hearing people saying, what's your favourite away ground? Oh, Tynecastle, why is that? Oh, well, it's always a good atmosphere. But what he means is, he's sick of teams coming to Tynecastle because they enjoy the occasion and they walk away with 3 points more often than not. And what he means is he wants to turn it into the place that nobody wants to go to. And with the squad that he's starting to build, and if he can get off to that flying start and get a couple of wins under his belt right at the start of the campaign, that is going to build momentum. And Hearts is going to be a place that nobody's want to or will be looking forward to going to. I think I can see real similarities. I think Scott's spot on with comparing it to what Aberdeen did last season. I think the Burley comparison's not a bad one. That opportunity is there for Hearts. And Scott's absolutely right. The fact that they don't have the distraction of European ties in these first few weeks of the season, I think it might just give them that head start.
In reaction to you saying that they could, or they were aiming to split Celtic and Rangers, Darren simply says, Keith, go away. Scott says, Hearts won't be separating anyone, in my opinion.
Well, they will be separating someone.
True, aye. Mark Fairfield says, McInnes is another specialist in failure. This one, though, that I thought was interesting, Scott raised a good point. Is Shankland staying at Hearts? I mean, that's a big issue that will have to be resolved pretty soon, you'd have thought.
Do you know something? I put my hands up to that. I should be able to give you a better answer than I'm about to give you. All I know is that from day one in the job, that was Derek McInnes' first intention, and he did do it. He opened signing talks, encouraged the board to make Shankland an improved contract offer. I think also spoke with Shankland's advisors. So he began that process in day one, and you're right, distracted by other events. I couldn't tell you where those discussions are at right now, but as a couple of weeks down the line, maybe there'll be news on it soon. Something to get on to over the weekend.
Aye.
I think Shankland will have offers, Daniel. I'm pretty sure how many representatives have spoke to other clubs and there's been contact there, but as Jacko says, it's a priority for Derek McInnes, and I think it now boils down to what Lawrence Shankland really wants. No, obviously finances will come into it, but he's got to decide, does he want another change? Does he go down south, maybe even abroad if there's an offer there? Or does he really want to get his teeth into a Derek McInnes spell at Hearts? No, a Derek McInnes team at Hearts where, as we're discussing, they'll want to challenge right at the top end of the table. And Shankland will be seeing these signings coming in, and seeing that squad build. He's obviously had discussions with McInnes, so I think it will come down to what Lawrence really wants now. And if there's no a big difference in finances elsewhere, or if there's maybe not a big difference in size of club compared to Hearts, I think Hearts have still got a chance to keep him there. But obviously, Hearts will want to get it done quickly, and no doubt we'll find out in the next couple of weeks.
Well, we're talking about there the chance to build momentum and a feel-good factor. That would be a little bit of managerial artistry if you could announce at some point, by the way, you know how we're signing all these players and we've got a new manager and there's a real buzz growing here. Oh, by the way, Lawrence Shankland just signed a new contract. And that builds, even without a ball getting kicked, a level of excitement and momentum. So I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. And Derek can be a very persuasive guy. And he's got a good relationship. He's got a great relationship with Lawrence Shankland. So I think that Lawrence Shankland will be given Hearts and Derek McInnes every chance. If there is an offer that's more attractive financially, I'm sure that Lawrence Shankland will be saying, guys, look, you're not that far away. And I think there's a deal to be done. I really do. Might be wrong. I might be entirely wrong, but I do think there's a deal to be done there.